Test, test. 1, 2, 3. How's the audio? All right, welcome everybody here to this beautiful Saturday morning. We are in the Donna Mayer Gateway Bid event, the last opportunity of the season to get that bid. As we'll get started off, Greta will send this one up to Allie. She Jane. Jane will tip it up and over the block and get that first point of the day for Rockwood, as we're going up against Club 4's 16 Boost. So this is a double elimination, I believe, 2-day bid tournament. And Cam sends this one across with the slide coming over. Allie will play that one forward, and Zoe and Jane come together, get it up and over. Coming from the outside, and that's going to come down in the gap and tie us up at 1. Line drive finds the net. Your Rockwood Thunder will go up 2-1 here early on in the first set. This is a normal format of 3 sets if needed. First 2 will be to 25. Third set if needed will go to 15. Allie's serve goes back middle. Libero plays it up. From the outside, that's going to get rejected at the net by the Zoe squared. And that's going to get tipped over and find the floor, tying us up at 2. Very loud in the gym here, so I'll turn the mic up a little bit so you can hear me over the crowd. Jane will find Liv with this one, feeds it back to Jane. She goes up and through the block, coming over to the right side. Greta up to Liv. She gets it to Zoe Parks, who will tip it over. From the outside, down in the corner, and that'll be a kill for Club 4, and they'll find their first lead up here, 3-2. Low serve, played up by Greta. Liv finds Jane. Jane pushes that one down, gets the kill, tied at 3. That'll bring Chloe in. She'll go back to serve. Sends it over back right corner. Setter's going to feed it behind her to her right side, and that's going to come off the block and down for a point for Club 4. Chloe up to Liv, back sets it to Zoe Davis. That's played up by back row. Tipped over to the wall and down for a Rockwood point. We're tied at 4. That'll put Reagan back behind the line. She'll send this one back at the libero. Setter gets it to her right side. That's another one down in the gap left here, as their right side's having a field day. Winner of this match will go on to play the winner of the match that was on just before us, which was Blue Steel Black. Zoe Parks is blocked, but a nice pickup by Chloe on the rebound, and Greta will find the net, and we're down 2 here early on in set 1. That'll sail on out of bounds and cut that lead to 1. Kennedy's serve goes cross court to the left side. It's going to get pushed over to the outside and all the way out of bounds. That'll tie us up at 6 apiece. Back to an even spread here. from the outside, cross court. Reagan got a hand on it, but that's about all she could do as she was moving to her right, and it went left. She zigged when she should have zagged. Short serve. Kennedy lays out to get that one, unable to pick it up. Back down to 8-6 here in favor of Club 4. Chloe up to Allie, and Reagan will have to free ball it over. Tipped over from the outside. Chloe's got it. Allie feeds it to Greta. She throws it over the block, picked up back row. Quick set to the middle, and that'll come through the block and down for a Club 4 point. That serve will go long. We'll take the freebie. Greta serve deep back middle. That's going to come through the block as Jane, I believe that was Jane was there, but it made its way through. Greta with a tight one. A great job by Cam to play it up, but Reagan's pass does not make it back over the net. And we're down the Slurpee score, 7-11 here. Greta up to Allie. She turns and dumps it. Libero picks it up. Setter back, feeds it to her right side. That's going to go cross court down for the kill. That'll draw a timeout from Coach Gabby. We'll be back after this timeout. And we're out of the timeout. Low line drive. Allie does a good job, gets it fed to Cam. She'll find the net. And things just not going well right now. Kennedy up to Allie. Pushes it out to Jane. She switches to the left side. That's picked up, dumped over. They're going to get a double call on Club 4, and that'll be a mercy killing of that little run they had and swing it over to our side. Cam will get the ace as she sends that back middle, or back right, sorry. She'll send another one towards gap right. This is picked up. Slide to the right side. And that's going to come off of Cam and back here to me and be another Club 4 point. Kennedy finds Allie. Allie gets it up to Jane. Jane sends that over to the bench, and still not finding the rhythm here as they're down 6. 15-9 here in the middle of set 1. And Greta will fight that one off. Allie gets it to Jane. Jane is blocked, and that one will fall down on our side of the court. That one will hit the net and fall back. Be another mercy point for us. Spread is 6 here as Allie will go back to serve. Low serve, picked up, pushed over to the outside, cross court. That's going to go off of Reagan. And she got one wing on it. Looked like she tried to lay off of it. That was headed out, but clipped her. That'll take us to 17-10. That'll come off of Greta. That'll be another timeout for Gabby as things not getting in the direction she wants. We'll be back after this timeout. Both teams make their way back on the court. There's a whistle from the up ref. The serve comes at Greta. Jane will help her out, and Zoe Davis will send it back row. Setter gets it over to her right side, and that's going to come middle of the court. Great diving dig by Greta. We're playing on, and there was a little confusion. Up ref originally called that spike a couple plays ago down. And anyway, the Club 4 won the point a couple plays after that. So Greta unable to get that one to a teammate. Zoe Parks makes a diving effort at it. And we're down 2 handfuls here as things really not going well as we're trying to put a different wall up here on the defense. Greta running effort by Reagan, and then we'll have Zoe called for the double. Zoe plays it up to Liv, finds Jane. Jane gets a good swing on it, picked up back middle. From the outside to the wall, and there's a point for Rockwood. Lead cut back to 10. Need to go on a run here. Points are very few to give away here now. We're in that back third and down a bunch. Chloe will find the net. Short serve. Reagan dives in after it and unable to get it in play. Chloe. Liv will get that to Zoe Parks, and that's going to get knocked into the net on the block and down for a Rockwood point. Reagan will shoot that one right side. Sprays off to the net, and an ace for Reagan. See if she can keep cutting into this lead, as it's 10 right now with only a few precious points to give. She'll send it back middle to Libero. Setter gets it to her outside, tipped over the block. Greta gets it. Liv finds Zoe Parks. That's going to get knocked around. The roll shot over. Chloe gets it. Liv runs under it. And Zoe gets a good swing, but picked up back middle. Tipped over. Reagan up to Liv. Let's see if she can do something with it. She dumps it over in one. Cam picks up the overpass. Greta with a cross court. No touch as that rolls out of bounds, and we're at set point for Club 4. Chloe will get that up to Liv. Back sets it to Zoe Parks, and she'll get the cross-court kill. And still alive, down 10. Couple personnel swap as Kennedy will come in and have it on her shoulders. Got to get 10 here, or we're moving into set 2. This one's pushed to the outside, tipped over the block, diving effort by Kennedy. Greta will roll shot that one off the one leg. There's one of them. She'll go down the gap right. Setter is going to feed it to her outside behind the 10-foot line. Kennedy plays it up to Allie. Over to Greta. Greta tries to throw it and gets it into the net. They'll call 4 on us. That'll do it for set 1. That was not pretty. We'll drop that one by 10. We'll be back to bring you set 2 in a must-win situation for your girls from Rockwood. We'll be back after this. right, we're ready to bring you set 2. Hopefully a much different outcome. As we'll get started off serving, Kennedy will lead the way. She sends it back right. It's pushed over to the outside. That one to the net. And Reagan will chase it all the way to the net. And she will slip and fall in the net as she made the run at it. And it looks like she's okay. That's the big concern. We'll start out with Club 4 with the first point. And Reagan will send that one forward to Allie. She'll find Cam, who will dump it over on the slide. That's going to get tipped around. Somehow finds its way over. Allie to Cam. Cam gets it through the block, but picked up by Club 4. And that's going to get tipped over. We were looking for the lip, but no call. And Greta throws it back left. Club 4 from behind the 10-foot line. Chloe up to Allie. She gets it to Greta. Greta this time will find the back left corner, and the girls worked hard to earn that point. And hopefully that'll give them a little shot of energy in the arm there as it's tied 1-1. If you're a person who believes in karma and all that, we won the first point on the last set and then went on to lose a bunch. So Club 4 can have the first point, and maybe we'll win a bunch. As that one will find its way inbounds and give Club 4 the 2-1 lead. Short serve. Reagan will play that up to Allie. She'll turn and dump it, but she dumps it out of bounds. Another low serve. Kennedy plays up to Allie. This time she gets it to Cam. Big swing. That'll go off a player and all the way to the wall. Cuts the lead to 1. So as we said in the first set, the winner of this will go on to play Blue Steel Black. That'll be here at this court right after this. Loser goes on to play Blue Steel Blue this court at 11 o'clock. So the next match after that. Good job by Kennedy to keep that alive. Everybody regroups from the right side. Greta plays it up to Allie. This one to Jane. She turns and dumps it left side. Gets the kill, and we're knotted up at 3. Cam sends this serve at the libero, gap left. From the right side behind the 10-foot line, cross court. Kennedy's overpass tries to get killed, but then ends up being too long as they were scrappy and got it back over. But that'll be a Rockwood point. Cam to serve another, up 4-3. Off the top of the net, that's going to get bounced around. And into the net. And there's the 2-point lead for your Rockwood Thunder here early on in set 2. If you're just joining us, we lost the first set, dropped it by 2 handfuls, dropped it by 10. So in a must-win situation here in set 2 to push it to a third set, that's going to sail out of bounds too long for Cam. Score will be 5-4 in favor of the Thunder. Looking to push this to a third set so we can move on to the next round. Greta, Allie, she finds Jane. Jane goes too strong. That'll sail out of bounds, and we're a nickel apiece tied up at the old Highway 55. Greta to Allie. Quick set in the middle to Zoe Davis, and she powers that one through. We're down a player today as Delaney's home with the with an ailment, not feeling well, and we wish her well. Hope she's heals up real quick, as that one will come at her hard and go off of Reagan and out of bounds. But Delaney, if you're watching, we hope you feel better soon. Reagan to Liv, and she'll end up giving it back to Reagan, who will down ball it from behind the 10-foot line. There's one into the net from Club 4. And that'll put your Rockwood Thunder up 6-7. 7-6 in favor of Rockwood. Chloe to the back right corner. Quick set. Tipped over the block. Chloe diving effort to pick it up. That'll be tooled off the block for Zoe Parks. Oops. And an 8-6 lead for Rockwood. Chloe will try it seam left. Setter's under it. Gets it to her right side. There's a great effort all around as Zoe Davis kept it alive. Chloe diving effort, unable to come up with that one. That'll be a Club 4 point. Drop that lead to 1. Reagan up to Liv. She'll push it out to Greta, who takes what's available and tips that around the block and down into the donut hole in the middle. Found herself the Hertz donut and a 2-point advantage for Rockwood. Reagan will try the right side. That's going to get to the setter to her right side and through the block, tooled off of the arms of Greta there and down. If you're at home wondering, no, that second light from the far end is blinking on you. You're not having a stroke. It's been doing that the whole time. There's a good dig by Reagan, played up, and Greta will send it cross court. From behind the 10-foot line, out to the netting here. And another Rockwood point. Stretches the lead back to 2. Kennedy in to serve. She'll go right side, high-handed up. Setter gets it to her outside, and that'll sail too long as well. We'll take a TV timeout for an equipment malfunction as we get a shoe being tied and an up ref fixing an antenna. And there we go. We're back to playing. 11-8 your score here in the middle of set 2 in favor of Rockwood, as Kennedy's serve will go just a little bit too far. This one will come at Kennedy. Gets it up to Allie. Allie turns and dumps it. Reagan will pick up the rebound. And Zoe Parks will put the meat on that one and send that off the back row. Maybe that wasn't Zoe. Might have been Cam. My view was obstructed, so sorry if that was Cam. Jane will take care of the overpass, and you can feel the momentum changing as the tides have turned. And the girls need to just keep pushing forward, throttle down. 13-9 now in the middle of set 2. Greta to the libero in the middle. Setter gets it to her right side. That is through the arms, through the block, and down. Kennedy up to Allie, back sets it to Cam, and that one they're going to say was blocked and down inside the court. So that'll be a club 4-point. That one's going to go out of bounds. Looked a little closer than I think everybody thought it was going to be, but it did go out of bounds. 14-11 now your score with Cam going back to serve. And she'll try gap right, and that's going to get sprayed around. A free ball coming over. Let's do something with it. Kennedy to Allie. Quick set to Zoe. Off on the timing a little bit and just tipped it over. From the outside and through the block and down. And we missed an opportunity there. Got to take advantage of those free balls when you have them. 14-12, still a 2-point lead here in favor of the Thunder. And we'll make that a 3-point lead as we'll get the freebie on the Aaron serve. We'll see Allie go back to serve. Timeout for Club 4. We'll be back after this quick timeout. All right, back to live action. Allie to serve with a 3-point advantage. She'll go cross court. Setter feeds it to her right side, tipped over the block. Zoe Davis with a chicken wing and unable to get it in play. I think we had 6 stabs at that one, and that's a club 4-point. Reagan will play that one up. Liv gets under it. Finds Jane. Jane will play that one through the block. Free ball coming. Again, let's see if we can do something with it. Reagan gets it to Liv. Jane throws it left side all the way back to the wall. Another free ball coming. Zoe to Liv. She gets to Zoe Davis again. There's a good dig by Reagan, and we play on. To the outside, tipped over. We got another net violation that nobody's picking up. That one was probably on us. From the 10-foot line, Zoe Parks does a good job. Jane will send it back middle. We play on. From the outside, and that's going to find the line. That was a good call. That was right on the line. Right on the line. And we'll take the freebie, 16-14. Girls have had some opportunities. You want to see us take advantage of these free balls when they're coming and put some points on the board the easy way. Good job defending by Liv, as that one was a tough one. And there's a good block by Zoe Davis. And the girls keeping it alive, and Chloe will send it over. Quick set to the middle, and that one's going to come off of Reagan and all the way back over our head and into the crowd. Chloe, tight one to the net. Liv does a good job of just getting up there and playing it. And Zoe Parks does a good job of keeping that alive. Good cross-court swing by Greta. Played up. That is going to sail out of bounds, and Chloe does a good job of ducking under that one. Made a good decision. Nursing this 2-point lead here as we're rolling through this set two. Reagan will send it right side. From the outside, that's rejected. That was a double wall by Cam and Zoe, and I believe Cam got that one. 18-15 now, 3-point advantage. Reagan will go back right corner. Setter feeds it to her right side. That's rejected as well and picked up by Club 4. Free ball. Live to Zoe Parks, and she'll put that one away. The lead is 4, 19-15, and a timeout by Club 4. We'll be back after this. We're back out of the timeout. Reagan goes back right corner. Just going to get pushed over to the outside. Another rejection at the net, picked up by Club 4. That is going to find its way in. That was a close one. Looked like it did catch line. (19-16) here in the latter parts of the second set. Rockwood needs to win this one to push it to a third set to stay in the winner's bracket. Chloe up to Liv. She gets under it. Greta tries to put a move on it as she makes an adjustment. That'll be a Club 4 point, and that lead is cut to 2. Reagan up to Liv. That's put down, but picked up, or pushed over and picked up. Oof, there's a tough swing right at Liv. And now the momentum shifting back over to Club 4 as they've cut this lead to 1. Chloe steps in front of that one. Liv gets it to Cam, and Cam's hit's going to go just out of bounds. And the bench unhappy with that call as they thought that might have been in. 19-19 now. We got a set to 6 that the girls got to pull out here. Reagan up to Liv. She'll back set it to Zoe Parks. And that's going to go by way of a kill. I think that hit the antenna, so even though it looked like they were playing it up over in the Club 4, the up ref had already called it dead, and a point for Rockwood and a kill for Zoe. Rolling into the back third, up 1, 20-19 in a must-win situation. Kennedy back to serve. At the libero, Setter gets it to the right side, cross court. Chloe and Kennedy come together. Allie feeds it to Greta. Cross court down in front of the libero. What we were seeing in the first set where everything was going out of bounds or in the net, starting to fall in, starting to find its way inside the court. Kennedy to serve up 2. She'll send it right side, and that's going to spray off for an ace. Almost taking out the rival camera setup over there. Never hurts my feelings. Kennedy goes right side, sprays a little bit again. Setter gets it to her right side, tipped over in the middle. Allie has to play it. Reagan with the out of system to Greta. And Greta gets a good swing on it. That's going to go out of bounds. And there's a 23-19 Monstropolis lead for your Rockwood Thunder. Kennedy with the short one. Libero's under it. Quick set over to the outside. Kennedy runs it down. Allie turns and dumps it. Comes over in two. Reagan with the free ball set up over to Allie. She turns and dumps it. Dumped over. Kennedy. Allie with the quick one to Cam off the top hands. Picked up back row from the right side. That's rejected and out of bounds. And we're at set point for your Thunder here in the second set. 1 point away of pushing this to a third and final set. Kennedy right side. Setter feeds the slide to the right side. That's tipped way back right corner. Chloe runs it down. Alley to Greta. Greta into the Hertz donut, and we're going three. That'll do it for set two, 25-19. We'll be back to bring you the third and final set after both teams reset their lineups. All right, we're here for set number 3. We won't say for all the marbles, but for some of the marbles. Winner here goes on to continue on in the winner's bracket. We'll take on blue, steel, black right after this. Loser will sit for an hour and take on blue, steel, blue, and the first point goes by way of your Rock with Thunder. Good kill for Zoe Parks. And we'll take the 1-0 lead. We'll see Kennedy back to serve. She'll send it back right side. Sort of a slide, and that's tipped over two-handed. Allie has to play it. Reagan gets the out of system to Greta. Greta will get the kill as she sends it gap left. And we'll take the early 2-0 lead. As a reminder, third sets go to 15, win by 2. Got to come out quick. Kennedy's serve goes back right again. Setter again tries a slide. That's going to roll out of bounds. And we'll take the 3-0 lead. Kennedy goes left side this time. Libero picks it up. Quick set to the middle. Kennedy has it. Allie gets it to Cam. She'll tip it over around the block. Pushed over the outside. That is... They're going to set in bounds. Three to 1 in favor of Rockwood here in set 3. Reagan up to Allie. Allie pushes it out to Greta. Greta will tool that off the block and take us to 4-1. Greta's serve goes left side, a screamer. Pushed over to the outside, and that'll come through the block, and the lead is cut to 2. Kennedy will lay out for that one. Allie will feed it to Jane. Jane is blocked, but gets her own rebound. Allie gets it back to her. Tips it over, picked up. From the right side, off the net and down on our side, and the lead is cut to 1. Greta up to Allie, back feed to Cam. She's blocked. What a great job of all the girls to lay out and get that one, but then the easy peasy for their middle as she put that one away in the back right corner on us. And we're tied at 4. We got a new set here as the girls need to buckle down and get this side out and win this race to 5. Greta pops that one up. Allie runs under it. Feeds it back to Greta behind the 10-foot line, and she's rejected. And now the girls down 1, lost this race to 5. 2 more races to win here, to 10 and to 15. The important one's the 15. Kennedy. Allie gets it to Jane. Jane will push that one over the block and down in the back left. Off the diving left player, back row player. We're tied at the old double nickel. Going at a speed that Sammy Hagar can't drive. Cam will send that one back right. Kind of a set in the middle of nowhere. Allie will have to play it. Kennedy feeds it over to Jane. Jane will tool that off the block. And get us back to 1-point lead. Cam will find the net and tie us back up. That'll go out of bounds. We'll exchange service errors, and we'll be up the 6-7 score in favor of Rockwood, 7-6. We'll have Allie back behind the line to serve. She'll send it cross court. Setter runs a long way. He's going to get it to her outside. That's going to go off the tape. Reagan has a bit of an overpass, but that's picked up as Allie got the rebound. Jane will send it over. Zoe Parks is going to get. Who got called? They're calling a double. Who are they calling a double on? We clearly got the kill from Zoe. The down ref called the double. And it's going to stick. We're staying at 7-7. I did not see who they called the double on. Jane, Liv runs under it. She tips it over, and Zoe Davis helped it out. Good diving effort by Jane to play that one up, but that find us down one. And then in the old school of changing sides, we'd be at the halfway point and flipping sides with Club 4 up one here, 8-7. Reagan will play that one up, but nobody there. And that'll take Club 4 up 2, 9-7. This one comes left side. Jane plays it up. Liv runs it down. Jane goes cross court, high-handed up. Setter runs it down, gets it to her outside. Rejected at the net, tipped over. Reagan's got it. Liv dumps it, bounce around, comes over in two. Greta to Liv. Back set to Zoe. Zoe tools it off the block. That one comes cross court. Reagan with a good dig. And Jane is rejected at the net, and we're down 3 and a timeout from Gabby as we've lost the race to 5 and the race to 10. Got one important one to go. We'll be back to bring it to you. All right. Well, you got to see the girls push these 3 and then get to that 15 as Greta will have to play this one. And Jane does a good job of following it and playing it off the ceiling. Pushed over to the outside, through the block. Great job by Liv to play it. And then Zoe Davis will dump it. That one's going to come seam right and down. We find ourselves down the Slurpee score of 7-11 here. Greta will get some help from Reagan. Out of system to Jane. She tips it up and over. Quick set to the middle. That's rejected by Jane. Let's see him come to life here. Down 3, 8-11. Chloe will send it back middle. Setter gets it to her outside, cross court. Reagan with a diving effort. Greta tips it up and over the block. From the outside, big swing. Liv makes a dive at it. Unable to get it. Points are precious now. Need to get this side out and start putting some points on the board. Chloe to Allie. She finds Greta. Greta cross court. Libero sends it all the way in the back row. Free ball coming. Chloe to Allie. She gets it to Zoe Parks off the high hands. This is going to be pushed over to the outside. That never made it over the net. That'll be 4 on Club 4. Lead cut to 3. Reagan back to serve. She'll send it right side. Pushed all the way over to the right side. That is blocked at the net and down. 12-10 now in favor of Club 4. Reagan goes right side again. From the outside, through the block, and down. Low line drive over the net. Chloe plays it up. Allie runs under it. Zoe Parks gets that one into the Hertz donut. Cuts into that lead. It's 2, and Kennedy to serve, and we need 2 points fast as Club 4 is 2 points away from closing this out. Timeout, Club 4. We'll be back to bring you the conclusion. All right, Kennedy back to serve. Needs to cut into this 2-point lead a little more. Or all the way, actually. She'll try the right side. Setter with a quick one to the middle. She switches hands. Goes to her left. Caught everybody leaning to the right side. And it is set and match point now for Club 4 when they have 3 of those. Chloe. Allie feeds it to Greta. Greta turns on that one, but somehow defended off. Greta will feed it up to Allie. She finds Cam, tips it to the right side. Setter gets it over to her right side, and that's going to come through the block and down. And that'll do it. We'll drop this one and head over into the non-winners bracket. So we will sit for an hour, and we'll be back on this court at 11 o'clock, give or take, to take on Blue Steel Blue. We'll see you then. Thanks for joining.